All right, listeners, here's the tea. So in the time between when we were supposed to watch these things and then record this thing, our city was dumped upon by a massive ice storm. Maybe you heard about it. Nashville got super screwed, so we have been juggling the flu and power outages and not being able to get to the grocery store, and shit hit the fan. So we already talked too long about the facts of life in this episode, and we're just gonna split it in two because we needed some time. So this is part one, and part two will be next week, okay? Yeah, the episode's in two parts anyway, so it kind of made sense. And we love you. Thank you so much for understanding when we sometimes have to split these episodes up. I know it's not ideal. I know you want both parts. But we don't make any money doing this either, so we kind of have to just make this fit into our schedule the best way we can. And we really love doing it, and we really love getting to talk to you guys. But sometimes life happens, so thank you for being chill about it, because it was ice. All right, here you go. Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Ivy. And this is Toxic Waste of Time. This week we thought we would try a new monthly thing where we, two women of two different generations, watch something from each other's youth and see if it's aged well or if it's really just a toxic waste of time.
Yeah. And we're switching gears a little bit from some more serious subject matter. I think this will be a fun episode and a little bit lighter, maybe. There's definitely some serious stuff in here, but a little bit lighter, a little bit shorter. Little palate cleanser for you folks. But before we all learn about the facts of life, let's do a little icebreaker.
Yeah, Katie, spin that wheel.
Okay. Ooh.
Tell me your relationship with haunted houses.
My relationship with haunted houses. I think they're great. I think they're too expensive. I think the people that perform in them should be paid more, and it should be like a union acting job. But it's not. I love them. I think they're fabulous. Around here, they're very trendy as a thing to do that in the spooky time of year. And they charge exorbitant fees for them. But I think they're fun. I haven't been to one in a very long time. I think since I was a teenager. But it was mostly just an excuse to grab onto the cute guy that I brought with me, and pretend I was scared. The first few that I went through, I was really, really scared. And the more I got into doing theater and stuff, the more that I would just look and be like, oh man, that's a really good prosthetic. Oh, that fake blood looks really good. What's your formula? I'm just kind of in that technical aspect of it and appreciating that. The special effects, the design, everything. I think they're cool. That's all I got.
Okay.
How about you?
Well, I don't actually have a relationship with haunted houses because, and it might be surprising to some because of my love of haunted decor. I do love a skull and a spider and a spider web and bats and all that stuff. But
we're spooky bitches on this podcast.
Don't fucking scare me. I don't watch scary movies.
Okay.
I don't go to haunted houses. I went to a haunted corn maze, like a haunted field of some sort.
I think I've been to that one.
I was dating this guy briefly, and he was actually the guy that I dated for a few minutes right before Jody.
A few minutes. It wasn't Robbie Robertson or Stevie Stevenson.
Was it Stevie Stevenson? No, Wally Robertson.
Wally Robertson.
No, it was a guy I had gone to high school with. So again, didn't really it wasn't really a dating thing. I don't think we ever went out on a date.
Yeah.
It was just sort of a hanging out thing. But he insisted that we go to this thing, and it was horrible for me. I hated it. I couldn't stand it. And in high school, of course, I had to tag along to the haunted houses, but I I don't know how expensive they are now because I can't
They're like $50 plus.
What?
Yeah, like it's ridiculous.
$50?
I feel like let me Google it to be sure. I hate to say things that are wrong on the podcast. Let's just look up one that I know the name of. This one, Miller's Thrillers in Columbia, Tennessee, offers haunted attractions with individual tickets for the haunt. They have several different things on their site that are all separate. So if you paid for all of it, it would be $50, but you could get things individual. There's
Nashville,
a zombie
I'm
paintball
sure,
hayride that sounds dope as fuck.
Oh, I would like a zombie paintball hayride.
I want to do that. I would
not
be the
afraid of
zombie
that.
too. Like that sounds also fun. Put me in some armor and let people shoot paintballs at me, and
I actually wonder if it would be as scary now as it was when I was, because I would have still been a teenager, like 18, 19, when I went to that one, and no.
Yeah. I just know that they kind of expect a lot out of their performers and don't pay very much. Not just this particular one, but like haunted houses in general. You know, they typically don't pay their performers enough to do what they do. And
that's pretty...
You're just exposed to the public, and people in states of fear do all kinds of crazy shit and will attack you and hit you and spit on you and abuse you in all manner of ways. And like, y'all need to unionize, okay?
So do you think that haunted houses are non-toxic, toxic-ish, or are they a toxic waste of time?
I think they're toxic-ish because, like,
same
the price tag, you know, the gouging, the way the performers are generally treated. Now, that obviously is not everyone, but, you know, I've heard things from people that worked at various ones that were not amazing. So, you know, I guess if it's owned by a reputable person who's cool and pays people fairly, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there might be some toxic bosses. And you know what? There's definitely one that's toxic that used to be around here. Have you heard about this one? So there's I
don't know.
There's this crazy ass dude, and I think he got thrown out of our state, but he tried to set up a quote unquote haunted house experience that was like one person at a time. And he basically just like tortured you and waterboarded you and covered you in like cockroaches and shit and buried you alive and tried to scare you to death. I can't remember the name of him, but like, let me look him up because he was toxic.
Wow. I saw something when we were doing the episode in Bad Boss Detox about the guys that infiltrated the cult.
Yeah.
The YouTubers.
Yeah.
Those guys went to some fun house place that some guy ran that had a lot of, and they got thrown out of there because he caught on to him, I think. But I wonder if that was the same guy.
I don't know. This one is called McCamey Manor. And it is or was in Tennessee/Alabama. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's it.
Is it the same one?
I think
this guy was
it.
fucking crazy. And there's a documentary about him that is.
Yeah, no, the guy had
like a masochistic dick. Yeah.
Put on some sort of yellow suit, and the guy was yelling at him while he was getting ready and stuff. And I don't remember anything else.
It basically just seemed like an excuse for the guy, the owner in charge of it, to just like torture people to get his kicks.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
That's really what it seemed like, that he was just like a masochist and wanted to torture people. And you had to sign some kind of insane waiver to even go there, and it was ridiculous.
Yep. I think it's the same guy.
That's toxic as fuck. But if you want to go to some cute little hayride, go on.
I think why is all the Halloween stuff only Halloween stuff? Like, why not just have a year-round, like they have the escape rooms?
Agree.
Why not just have a year-round
spooky season
haunted
is in your
house?
heart?
Or like, why can I only shop for skulls and spiders in October?
You have to go to Hot Topic, I guess.
No, and especially now, that's not so. I mean, Monster High is pretty specific. I don't really want Monster High. I just want some skulls and some spiders or like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. You're
I don't
just
know.
kind of like a goth. But
Kinda. Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, you're like a soft goth.
Well, somebody said, I saw a video the other day, and this guy said, he was like, have you heard of the pastel goths?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, they have the makeup and the look on their face and all that stuff, but their clothes are like pink and yellow and blue.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
It's
that's
amazing.
me. All right.
Gen X learns about pastel goths today.
Wait, that's not new?
No. I don't know when it first became a thing, but it's been a thing for a while.
Okay, I mean, it's me, so I have known it was a thing, but I just didn't know that it was a thing with other people other than me. But I also don't wear makeup, and I'm not actually goth. I just like
spooky
metal stuff.
but you don't like to be scared, which is allowed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I assumed when I met you that you liked horror movies just because of your vibe,
But
I was incorrect.
Yeah. No, I cannot watch them.
Yeah, fair enough. Ivy made me watch the first 2 episodes of season 2 of a show called The Facts of Life. And first of all, that theme song slaps. I had it stuck in my head.
I could recite it. Yeah, I could recite that song word for word, probably in my sleep. In the first season that I didn't make you watch, the cast sang it.
Okay.
It was terrible.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so you may have thought
It's
otherwise.
just like some lady singing it now, right?
Let's just talk about why I chose season 2 as a starting point for newcomers.
Okay.
So a little background on sitcoms of the 70s and 80s. They love a spinoff. Katie, do you know a lot of spinoffs? We had so many spinoffs in the 70s
I know
and 80s.
a few. I don't know if I could name them.
No, and some of them you didn't even realize, like it was a big spin.
I didn't realize this was a spinoff.
Yeah, so this is a spinoff of Different Strokes. Do you know Different Strokes?
I've heard of it, but I couldn't really tell you anything about it other than like it's a show from I think the 70s.
It would have been late 70s because Facts of Life, I think, started in 78, 79. Season 2, the one that we just started watching, it was in 1981, I think. So Facts of Life in a nutshell. Mrs. Garrett was the housekeeper for Mr. Drummond and his daughter, Kimberly, on a lovely little show called Different Strokes. Kimberly attends an all-girls boarding school called Eastland School. After a few years as the housekeeper, Mrs. Garrett accepts a job as house mom at Eastland School. In the first season, there were a lot of girls as main characters, and I think it was just too much. So season 2 began the real Facts of Life with the 4 girls and Mrs. Garrett as the focus until season 8 when she left and her stupid sister took over in her role.
Her stupid sister.
Which she's not really stupid. It just pissed me off. So it long since had transitioned from the boarding school because, of course, the girls did not go to boarding school for 8 years.
I was going to ask, did they do the thing where they try to act like they're way younger so they can keep them in school and not change the storyline?
No.
Okay.
They graduated.
Okay.
They moved on. So we'll get there. No, I'm kidding. We're going to watch all 8 seasons.
I don't know about that.
The girls were definitely all grown. And I could go on a tangent about what the show actually means to me personally, but The Facts of Life is one of the shows that sort of molded me, taught me,
it was
the facts
formative
of life.
For you. Okay, well, yeah, my first impression, I guess, was, oh, this is like a little laugh track sitcom. Okay, fine, but there were things in the script that really surprised me. And I knew that there were some sort of heavier topics that were covered by this show later on, but there wasn't much of that in this first episode.
No.
It's a 2-part episode, but yeah.
There was, though, in season 1, episode 1, because I watched it. I went ahead and watched, because when I when Jody found Facts of Life for me on Tubi, season 1 wasn't available.
Okay.
It started with season 2, which made sense because when Joe came is when the core group actually formed and they actually had a direction to go.
Yeah.
In the first season, there was like 1,000 girls, one of them being Molly Ringwald. There was like 1,000 girls, and it was like story here, story there, story here, story there. But the very first episode, 1979 or something like that, one of the girls, whose name is escaping me right now, baseball mitt, baseball jersey, baseball hat, hair tucked up into the hat. Basically, the episode was about her wondering if she's gay without saying she's wondering if she's gay. And Blair made a rude comment to her about you should be more careful. You're always hugging girls and touching girls and telling them you love them. You need to be more careful because people are going to get the wrong impression. And so Mrs. Garrett went and had a talk with her, Cindy, I think it was. And she made her a dress for the harvest ball. And she said, I'm not going to wear that dress. Everybody makes fun of me. I should have been a boy. I look like a boy. I like all boy things. And Mrs. Garrett had a nice long talk with her about how, she's still young and she doesn't know yet what blah, 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 and Cindy took her long blonde hair down and put the dress on and went to the harvest dance. She didn't win Harvest Queen. Blair still won Harvest Queen, but the boy Blair commented on Cindy, and Cindy said, I think it woke something up in me. So I think they were trying to be brave even in the first
kind of missed the mark. Yeah.
Even in the first episode. And I don't even know if it would be considered missing the mark back then. I think back then that was pretty big because back then people were still getting fired for being gay in the television industry.
Yeah.
So I think it was just a pretty, they always do bold things. They're pretty fucking bold. So anyway, let's get back to Facts of Life, Season 2, Episode 1. It's a 2-parter, appropriately titled The New Girl, Part 1. We watched both Part 1 and Part 2, and so they will run on probably in our conversation.
Yeah, we're just kind of referring to it as the first episode, even though it is technically 2 parts.
The episode opens with the girls gathering for their first day back to school. They've all been on vacations or at home, and Mrs. Garrett proudly lets them know that despite her lack of education, she is now the new school dietitian.
All right.
Then, and then suddenly they hear a motorcycle and everyone gasps, and in walks Joe Polnicek. Now, of course, at first they all think she's a boy, and she thinks they're all dumb. Katie, what were your initial points at this point?
Okay, so, I just kind of wrote down weird stuff that they said and my thoughts as we went along. Tootie, who is supposed to be 12, I think, you said, her line was, I was on a panty raid. And I was like, what in the, what?
Right? And did girls do panty raids? I don't know.
I don't even officially know what a panty raid is, okay, to be honest.
I think it's when boys run into the girls' room and steal their underwear. I don't know.
That's what I would assume.
Yeah.
But how the fuck would I know? That was the first thing that hit me as like, all right, okay, that was just weird. And then Gary Coleman showed up and I was like, oh my God, he's so cute.
Yeah,
he's
Gary
so
Coleman,
cute.
On different strokes, he was like heartbreakingly cute.
Yes.
Like that was his whole thing.
But then Tootie said something. Mrs. Garrett said she'd lost weight or something. And Tootie said, what happened to the other half of you? Jesus, girl.
To Mrs. Garrett?
To Mrs. Garrett. Like, okay, in what world is, I don't know. There's a laugh track over that, but I would have been so offended if someone said that to me.
You would have been offended if somebody said that
where's the other half of you?
So much weight. That's a compliment. You've lost half of a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight.
I don't know.
But Mrs. Garrett didn't need to lose a whole half of herself from season 1 to this one.
I don't know what they're talking about either. She looked fine. And then what is okay?
Oh, they were making fun of Blair's flared jeans.
No, they were making fun of
Joe's flared jeans. Yeah, because they were last year's.
And then Natalie says, all of my clothes are flared, and nobody laughed. And I was like, oh, that's because she's the quote-unquote chubby one. So that's why her clothes are flared.
And do you know what's interesting to me? Watching this when I was young, she was the chubby one. That was just that. She's not that chubby.
She's not, and she's also not that funny. So,
well, I mean, nobody was funny really back then.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Who stood out to me as a good actor? Jo was good.
Yeah.
She was really believable, but I don't know. It was just kind of like canned laugh track, corny, sitcom-y shit, but all of my clothes are flared. That like self-deprecating thing, I didn't like that they had her say that. But anyway. And then Blair says
that was pretty common back then too.
Oh, I know it was, but that's one of the things to me that hasn't aged well is like fat jokes. You know, can we not? Like, isn't there something else that's actually funny that you could have said?
Especially fat jokes on yourself.
On yourself, yes. At your own expense.
But I do think, at least when I was in school, the girls who were the heavier girls would make those comments on themselves. And I think
it's a coping mechanism.
They were, that's what my mom always said, that's because they want you to think they think it's funny too. But then the problem with that is then if you think they think it's funny too, then it keeps going.
Exactly. And it perpetuates it when it doesn't matter
and it's not
in the first place.
It's not just weight. It's anything that you make fun of yourself
exactly.
about. People
self-deprecating jokes and whatever are, I don't think they're super cool anymore. Like you can laugh at yourself, but not in like a I'm so disgusting kind of way. I don't know. There's a fine line.
As the show progresses, they don't portray her as having trouble getting boyfriends. They don't portray her as, they never really, that doesn't stay a main theme.
Okay, that's good.
She doesn't ever get skinny, but that doesn't stay a main theme. She's just Natalie.
Yeah.
She's, the writer, the funny one. I don't think, and I could be wrong in later episodes, but I don't think that stays a theme.
That's good. I did also notice early, before Jo shows up, that all the girls grab something to eat and sit down, and everybody grabs a donut except Blair, who grabs an apple. And it's not like focused on, but I noticed that. And Blair is portrayed as the beautiful one, which we'll get to when I talk about archetypes later on. But like, I don't know. It just seemed a little intentional to me and weird. But
well, it may have been too, because Blair is also the one who is more sophisticated.
Yeah, right.
Donuts
it would have been the same.
sophisticated.
It would have done the same thing in terms of character development if all the girls had grabbed a donut and some of them ate it and just got it on their face, and Blair like had a fork and knife. That would have told the same story without differentiating that beautiful people only eat fruit. Calm down. Also, Blair's a Gemini, which makes total sense. And she's into Prince Charles. Girl, what? I about died. I was like, ma'am, you have no idea.
Right.
And then she said she's dating a 19-year-old. So how old are they supposed to be was my question, because it wasn't
that's a great question. I had an idea, but I did look it up just to be sure. So we have Tootie, whose real name is Dorothy, who was 12 in the first season. She's the only black student at Eastland that I recall. They did bring in lots of black guys for her through the years. Like there was no other actual like students, but there was always a black guy coming in for Tootie.
Because she can't have a crush on
God forbid.
anyone
God
else.
forbid. So also Jermaine Jackson in season 3 was on the show and a main
Couldn't pick him out of a lineup
for Tootie. Yeah, well, Tootie can.
I guess so.
Her parents are lawyers, and then there's Natalie, who is the funny one. She's slightly older than Tootie, but that the article I read did say that she was also 12 or 13 because I think she graduates. There's one episode where she graduates before Tootie, and it was a big, huge ordeal leaving Tootie all alone. So she's probably 13-ish. Nat is adopted and somewhat chubby, like we said. She's very funny. She's a talented writer. Her dad's a doctor.
And she's thirsty.
She's thirsty. Well, they're all thirsty. But they're also all rich, except for Joe. Blair is just the most rich.
Okay.
She's the beautiful one. She was 14 in the pilot, so she's probably 15 here. And as far as Prince Charles goes, in 1981, every single fucking one of us wanted to be Princess Diana.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, our fathers woke us up. I say our fathers, I don't know, our parents, whoever, my father, woke me up to go watch the royal wedding because, of course, it's, 12-hour time difference or whatever. Yeah. And when I read the little golden book of Princess Diana to my granddaughter, she was in the floor playing and I was reading to her. And I said to my granddaughter, who does not want to pay attention, she's listening, but she's playing, right? I said, my dad woke me up to watch when Princess Diana married Prince Charles, or when Lady Diana married Prince Charles. And she stood up and she walked over to me and she said, I want to see. And I was like, you want to see what? She said, you. She thought that I went to the wedding and that I was going to be in that little golden book.
Aw, that's cute.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, Blair looks 25.
Oh, yeah.
But I looked it up, and it looks like she was about 16 when the show first aired, so their ages were close. They did not cast adults to play teenagers, which I guess I also appreciate. But, then there's I don't know anything about this show, so I'm just going based on what I know about the industry, and I know that it is tough for child actors. So I hope that there was no behind-the-scenes
Never heard
drama
anything from
That's
The Facts
good.
of Life.
That's
Not
good. That's
ever.
Good. That's
No.
good.
Mrs. Garrett wouldn't have it.
Mrs. Garrett wouldn't let it happen. She let a lot of shit go down and made excuses for them, but no backstage fuckery allowed.
So Blair is the child of divorce, and she flaunts her money and looks, but she does have a somewhat soft and feminist side. She's always going to step up for women. In season 2 or 3, I think she learns her grandfather was a member of the KKK. That's a really good episode.
Damn.
They're going to name the library after him, and she finds out about that, and she will not allow them to name the library after her grandfather. It's very and she spends the entire episode giving Tootie expensive gifts. So that was
Okay.
So, and of course Joe, who's 15, a poor but tough kid from the Bronx. Her dad's in jail. That's hush hush. She doesn't want anybody to know. It's embarrassing. Her mom's a cocktail waitress. She got herself a boyfriend, and her mom got scared and sent her to Eastland on a scholarship.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the scholarships, if that ever comes up as a plot point, because
it does when they take it away, and she has to accept a scholarship from Blair's family, which is the relationship between Joe and Blair is up and down throughout the entire series.
I could see that. Yeah. Well, so one thing I noticed as the show was going on, these characters are very archetypical. meaning that they are based on sort of a preset structure of what this person's personality is. And it makes them really easy to write for. So it almost reminded me of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, which you may have seen. I don't know.
I know.
Okay.
I bought My Little Pony stuff for Daphne for Christmas.
Okay.
But I don't know the first thing about it.
It's a totally cute show. Daphne would love it.
She does love it.
Yeah. But they're just sort of like character types that are a little bit predictable in what they're going to do, which makes it sort of easily digestible to an audience. And it makes it easy to write for a team of writers, It's very well established early on who all these characters are, so you can sort of expect, oh, Blair's not going to like that, which works for this type of show, for sure. I feel like it's probably a bit dated as a thing, that
now for
characters
sure.
really should have a little bit more depth and dimension to them, especially if we're going to get into like some touchy subject matter. But for the time, I think it worked just fine, So
it was also a sitcom.
Yeah.
And they tried to make it a little less calm sometimes and a little more serious.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but it just sort of, it sits in a weird gray area to me.
It does.
It's
when I started rewatching it surprised me. I didn't remember, but in the 80s and probably in the 90s, there was a lot of a very special episode. But every episode of The Facts of Life, you learn a fucking fact of life. They're not fucking around with that.
All right, cool. Well, so moving on in the episode, the girls find their roommate assignments and Blair finds herself stuck with Joe. The four main girls find themselves alone together in Mrs. Garrett's room discussing the boys at Bates, which turns into Joe saying she dates men and insisting that she takes Blair to a bar after making her a fake ID. And let's not even worry about discussing that they're just going to do what? Choose a wallet pic to like tape onto a fake ID.
I know.
And there's the whole joke where Blair is like, which picture do I choose? And she's got 100 different pictures in her wallet.
Of herself.
Which, okay, shut up. How many of you don't have selfies on your phone? I have selfies on my phone. You know why? Because I'm an actor, and sometimes you need that. But anyway.
But that's different than a wallet. Like, you're going to pull out your wallet, look at all these pictures of me.
Well, maybe I relate to Blair a little bit.
You probably never had like the day at school where everybody brought their wallet-sized class pictures and handed them out to everybody.
Yeah,
you did?
We did.
You had wallet inserts with like pictures in them?
Sort of. Like, it was a little bit, that trend was going away when I was like a senior in high school, but we did have, days where you would swap wallet-size photos with your friends because we all got senior portraits done. And so when you got your senior portrait prints back, you could trade them with people.
I did not know they still did that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did it in
you're old
2001, so who knows what they even do now. But yeah, I mean, that joke was a little silly, but also archetypical. Like, I saw it coming, with the wallet photos. But yeah, how did they make a fake ID? Joe just has this shit on the back of her motorcycle.
Well, Joe said something about, I have some extras, I just need a picture.
So I guess she just she just glue sticked it to the sellotape.
She got her little portable laminator.
Well, true. They might have a laminator at the school. So Tootie and Nat decide to blackmail their way into the scheme, and I forgot how they did that. How did they do that?
They threatened something. It was blackmail. I don't remember either.
I don't know. They all hotwire the school van, which they don't show. They just say it happens. And
Joe hotwired the school van.
And Joe drives them down to the Chug-a-Lug bar. Who in the fuck names their bar the Chug-a-Lug?
Someone in wherever Peekskill. Someone in Peekskill.
Yeah, where the hell is this supposed to take place? Like, what part of the country?
So Arnold can get there pretty easily. So near New York, they take the train to New York City sometimes.
Okay.
So Peekskill is maybe it's in New York.
Okay. So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's coming together. It's making a little more sense. All right. So I have a few more notes about some stuff. So Speak Up America.
I don't know I don't recall that.
That they said something about, is Tootie gonna rat us out? Or can she keep a secret?
She
and
can't.
Someone calls her, around here she's known as Speak Up America. And I don't even know what the hell that was. I was like,
well,
okay.
I know Tootie.
Yeah.
I know Tootie like the back of my hand. And that bitch will spread a rumor.
She's got a big mouth.
She has got a big mouth. They did a whole episode about it.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, then Arnold makes this joke that because he has a crush on Tootie and he's like not getting any attention from her. And he says, at this rate, I'll be 90 before we get it on. But I know Gary Coleman is older than he looks. And how old is he supposed to be?
He is a child. Like, I think when he was adopted by Mr. Drummond, he was like 5 or 6.
Okay. So he's supposed to be
I could be wrong. He could be 7 or 8.
Okay.
But in this, he's probably 9, 8, 9, maybe 10.
But how? But it's not just that he makes that comment. He says it to Mrs. Garrett.
Yeah.
Like she's going to help him hook up with Tootie. I don't know. Is it supposed to be like, oh, haha, this little kid's repeating something that he heard an adult say?
Yeah.
But he uses it in context appropriately, which means he understands the meaning of it, which means how does this kid know? I have questions. Anyway.
I think Gary Coleman's dead, so we'll never know.
Joe is obviously more talk than action and appears somewhat nervous when they make it to the bar. And I noticed that she had different shoes on in that close-up shot of her feet where they're like, oh, I can't walk in these shoes. And then later she has different shoes on. I just noticed these things.
The pumps with the jeans were too much for me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's tacky? I don't know.
No, it's not that it's tacky, but the jeans were too short for the pumps. Like, I don't want to see the top of your foot if you're wearing jeans and heels. I want it to be,
Yeah. Okay. Wardrobe, get on that. Come on. But so Joe probably thought all the girls would chicken out, but they end up at this bar and they begin flirting with a dude who they see from behind and they're like, oh, he's gorgeous. And I'm looking at him like, that guy looks like he was dragged out of a gutter. He's like 40. And I'm like 40, but
let me tell you, these girls, the taste these girls have is
confusing.
Not good. Yeah.
Your taste in men is toxic, young ladies. So that immediately struck me as like, that guy is so old. Like it was not a cute college guy or something. He was like a grown-ass man. And it was a little creepy.
And, well, the 80s were pretty creepy. So it was not uncommon, and it was somehow funny and kind of normal-ish in the 80s for teenage girls to try to pick up old men or something. We all thought we were grown. Have you heard music from the 70s and 80s?
Oh, yeah.
Singing about teenagers, and it's all the girls who, when I was in junior high with crushes on older men, but then when I got older, still in the 80s, girls actually went out of their way to try to date an older man. I, on the other hand, when I was 14 or 15, a guy that was 19 who had graduated from high school but was still friends with some of the people who were still in high school, because there's that line where you've got friends that are sophomores and you're a senior, so when you get out of high school you've still got friends in high school. So this guy liked me. He was 19. I felt like he was a man, and he made me so uncomfortable. they left me alone with him in his apartment.
Girl, no.
They left me alone with him. He's perfectly safe, okay? I still know him to this day. But he really liked me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 14, 15 years old. I was a child.
Yeah, and that's a big difference at that age.
He did nothing to hurt me. He did not do anything. But I would not take my jacket off.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and it was hot as balls. I was hot.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not feel comfortable taking my jacket off. Again, did not touch me, did not harm me, had no intention of doing so. But he liked me. He wanted to kiss me. He wanted, like, I was a child. But it was normal then. I had a girlfriend 13 years old telling me about the things that she did with her 18-year-old boyfriend when I was in junior high school. It was not even weird then.
I mean, weird, for sure, it still was weird. It was just not
well, we didn't know it was weird.
We
didn't know it was weird.
Yeah.
Our parents
I think this is a product of misogyny. Like, this being perpetuated in the culture in any way, it just makes it seem normal for girls to become victims of predators.
Exactly. I mean, we thought that we were grown. We thought that and don't get me wrong, like, I don't think that my parents would have been okay at all if I had come home at 15 years old and said, this is my boyfriend, he's 19. I don't think that they would have thought that was okay. And I do have a friend who was 12 when her father kicked the 18-year-old man out of her bed that he found that had climbed in her window.
Ew.
And she wanted him there. Like, she invited him there. Like, nowadays, that's way more looked down upon than it was then.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I had friends who used to go stand outside of concerts to try to sleep with the band members. They were teenage girls.
Yeah.
And we all know that plenty of rock stars slept with plenty of teenage girls. Anyway, back to the facts of life. So Arnold rats out the girls, and Mrs. Garrett takes off to save the day just as things are heating up at the bar.
Yeah, what the hell, Arnold?
He saved the day, okay?
What? So tell me about his character. Like, why is he there? I don't understand. If he's so much younger and this is like an all-girls high school, what's he doing there? I only knew he was on another show at some point, too, and his catchphrase was, "What you talking about, Willis?"
Yeah, that was Different Strokes, the show that this show spun off of.
Right.
So his character... Now, we're going to have to talk about Different Strokes a little bit
That's
here.
Okay. I just need some context.
All right. So Mrs. Garrett was the housekeeper for Mr. Drummond and his daughter, Kimberly, who went to Eastland School. Okay. His former housekeeper, Lucy, died. She had 2 sons, Arnold and Willis.
Okay.
Mr. Drummond promised Lucy that he would take care of Arnold and Willis, so he adopted them.
Okay.
So they moved into the penthouse apartment from wherever they lived before, wherever Lucy lived. They were poor. Their father had also died previously. So their mother died. Mr. Drummond adopted them. Mrs. Garrett's the housekeeper. Kimberly is their sister now. Mrs. Garrett, because Mr. Drummond, he had to go make the millions. Mrs. Garrett actually was a hands-on caregiver for the children.
Okay.
Arnold and Mrs. Garrett became very close. So when she left the Drummonds, Arnold really kind of couldn't take it at first. They all, in the first season, they would all come. Willis, Mr. Drummond, they would come visit Mrs. Garrett at Eastland School and ask her when she was coming back and blah, blah, blah. So, and Adelaide had already taken over for her. So they already had a new housekeeper, but they just were very close to Mrs. Garrett. Arnold does not appear a lot throughout the series this was just sort of the transition
Okay.
to bring the Different Strokes fans to the Facts of Life.
Well, he's adorable.
He's adorable.
So
they brought
cute.
So they brought the most adorable cast member.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. All right. Yeah. I just didn't, having not seen season 1 or Different Strokes, I just didn't know what the connection was. Okay. So Joe and Blair get in a bit over their heads with the undercover cop they've been flirting with. Spoiler, he's a cop. Arguing, of course, because Blair got offended. Rightfully so, in my opinion, Blair, because this cop that's flirting with them assumed that she was in secretarial school, which seemed like a dig. Because he was talking to her and Joe, and then he's like, I bet I could guess where you go to school. And he's like, oh, Joe, I think that you're, some fancy girls' school. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I don't either.
And Vassar or something like that. And then he looks at Blair, and he's like, oh, but you're in secretarial school. And it's like he's calling her dumb and like she couldn't get into a fancy school when in reality she's going to a fancy boarding school. It's like he's calling her shallow or something. Like it does seem like a dig. And so I would have been pissed at him too. I don't know that I would have thrown a drink in his face.
I think she probably
or whatever she
had
did.
At the time the look of somebody who was going to go to MRS, to get her MRS
I mean, I
degree.
get that that's the joke, but she, as a human, is allowed to be offended at that.
Absolutely.
Him making assumptions about her intelligence and her capability. I would
Getting
have been
offended
pissed.
is kind of her character.
Well, I don't. You know what? I'm a Blair fan. Okay, I relate to Blair.
Good.
Which I didn't think I would like her, but I do. Anyway, Tootie and Natalie then barge into the bar and pass the bouncer, who's like the same height as them.
Right.
And Mrs. Garrett then bursts through the door to save the day.
And right before the school van gets hit outside because they are parked in a one-way alley.
And then they all get arrested. Cut to commercial. And on Tubi, the commercial breaks are just modern commercials. So, like, It cuts to a commercial, and then it's, like, selling you some medication or something, and it's so jarring.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got arrested. Crazy. My main question is, why is Mrs. Garrett making excuses for them? They are so bad. They stole a van. They went to a bar and they drank underage. They assaulted a cop. What the fuck, Mrs. Garrett? If you want to teach them the facts of life, you got to let them, lie in their grave that they dug for themselves. I don't know if I approve of her disciplinary style, but all right. And Tootie poured beer on the cop's head. She's a fucking menace.
She's a menace.
She is a menace.
Welcome to Tootie.
It's not that I don't like her, but ma'am.
Do you know that she, in real life, Kim Fields was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hell yeah, bitch.
Yeah.
Love that
I watched it just because Tootie was going to be on it. I was like, I got to watch this. I got to watch this season.
Well, I was looking
Tootie's
up what's her name that played Blair because I was trying to see how old she was.
Lisa Whelchel.
Lisa Whelchel, yeah. She and Tootie did some movie together that looks kind of silly, but they were in it together like more recently as adults.
She was also on Survivor.
Yeah, I saw that.
Lisa
Yeah,
Whelchel.
Got pictures of her.
I didn't know that. So Tootie. Tootie's character is quirky and gossipy and mischiefy, etc. Mrs. G always gets them out of whatever mess they are in. It is an 80s sitcom.
I get that.
Of course she did. But with the facts of life, there is always a lesson to be learned from the wisdom of Mrs. Garrett. Always.
Is it really wisdom, though? If you let these kids get away with this shit and then you decide to punish them in your own way instead of just letting them spend the night in jail, but it's because they committed multiple crimes.
It's wisdom. Mrs. Garrett is wise.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. And please make sure to tune in next week when we'll be talking about part 2 of season 1, episode 1.5. of the facts of life. How are the girls gonna get out of jail? Spoilers for a show that came out in 1979. If you want to contact us, you can do that by going to your email and typing contact@toxicwasteoftime.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram @toxicwasteoftime. Please rate us, leave us a review, leave us a comment on whatever you're using to listen to us. That would be cool. We know you're listening. We see that you're listening. We have spies everywhere, but what we don't know is what you think of us. So please, 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 pretty please, rate us, leave us a comment, send us an email. That would be cool. We love you, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for understanding that we were frozen under a half inch of ice on all of our power lines. Okay, love you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.